Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. This is the Town of Kingston, New Hampshire Historic District Commission meeting. I am Susan Prescott, the chair. Virginia Morris is not here right yet.
Wherever. Madeline Willett, member. Lori Sweat, select board rep.
Rob Trisolo, planning board rep. Dan Doyle, member.
We're missing Stanley Gillette, and we're missing Susan Behart. And Cynthia Mulcahy, our recording secretary, is ill this evening and will be taking notes from the YouTube video. So, did everyone get the minutes that I emailed?
Yes.
I have two corrections. The first one is, instead of Steve Willett, it should be Scott Willett. So Scott Willett was here as another attendee. And then on the second page, at the very bottom, 3 members of the Heritage Committee. I think it's called the Heritage Commission, so we'll just change it to Commission from Committee. Those were the only 2 corrections that I could see. Did anyone else have anything else?
I didn't have anything.
No? Okay. Can we have somebody move to approve the minutes as amended?
I make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Second.
Second by Madeline. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll abstain since I wasn't here.
Okay. 1 abstention, Dan Doyle abstained. Okay, that's done. The next thing on the agenda is critical correspondence. I don't really have any. I've been emailing with Dave Flanders, who is moving ahead with buying the Jane Christie property. We talked with him last August in here about building an ADU in the back of the property. So he is working on getting his application together, and he will be on the agenda if all goes well. Okay, so that's progress. We can do town board updates. Do we have an update from the select board?
If everyone has not watched one of the meetings or attended, we reorganized after the election. So Glenn Koppelman is the chair, Ellie Alessio is the vice chair, and you guys are stuck with me for another year.
Nice.
It's great.
Okay. Planning board?
We met with the seminary again.
Okay.
First plans, they're moving forward. We're gonna go forward with those first 4. It's exciting. We had all the work done on the water over there.
Put your mic on.
Oh, thank you. So we met with the seminary again, and we approved some plans for them, so they're moving forward over there. We look to see some construction started, I think, soon.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Gave them the waivers for the inbound plantings, but they're gonna take care of everything else.
What?
The plantings on the inside,
Okay.
yep.
All right.
Then the parking waivers on that, but other than that, they're gonna be moving forward, I think, quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just had a question and it's gone now.
Yeah, are they coming back
That was the question.
in this month to the planning board? Or when's the next time they're coming? Their next step is to go back to you?
Yeah, they're gonna come back to us. We gave them conditional approval, and they'll be back to us for more approvals, but I think they're gonna start because we gave them conditional approval for the wetlands and everything to start.
Right.
Yeah. They have a little more work to do on the plans. They only have those 4 lots out front set.
Yes.
They did come back with boundaries on the so-called lots, which are basically gonna be the units that they're gonna be. And then, of course, we're reviewing, town council is gonna review the condo docs, and then they'll be back to discuss those. Because that's a big thing. It'll be interesting to see who, what, when, and where they do that. I'm a bit confused myself on how they're gonna pull that off. Because I think they're gonna condo the apartments. I think the seminary building, that's my feeling on it.
That there'll be apartments
Those
in
would
the
be
seminary?
capitalized
Yeah,
as well, you think?
yeah, I think so.
Oh, is it?
I do.
That's not what they had said, but.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll figure that out.
But you don't, I didn't hear if they are coming next week.
I don't believe it's next week. I think it's 2 weeks. I think they were gonna submit a couple more plans and then come back.
All right, okay, thank you. Thanks. Stanley Gillette has entered the building. For the record, Heritage Commission did not meet, so there's no update. They will meet next month. So, we have two applications to get to. The first application is Steve Noseworthy and Amy Bear of 159 Main Street. Come on up and sit next to Dan, grab a mic. Yeah. Because we have questions.
Hi,
So introduce yourself.
I'm Amy.
And
Those
you
are my
have
children.
And you have bought 159 Main Street,
Correct.
and you are wanting to install a fence in your backyard.
Correct, a no-dig fence.
A no-dig fence, right? So, the application that I sent you had a choice of three, and they came up with one. Did I send you this today?
Yes.
Okay,
I saw that today.
all right. So, does anyone have any questions?
Did you see it today, Stanley? Did you see the plan?
Did you see the
Thanks.
picture that they just had on
Thank you.
So, does anyone have any questions for Amy about her application?
Yes. How is the fence going to be installed? There were pictures, but I know you know what you're gonna do, but I couldn't make out how.
Yes.
Will it go across the front of the house?
No.
Okay.
So it'll attach from the corner of the back of the house to a pre-existing fence that runs along. So if you're like in front of our house to the left, there's a fence that starts from the road that goes all the way down the back of our house, and then it continues
Yeah, I can see
to the
that.
back. So it's just the corner of the back to the pre-existing fence on one side, and then the other corner of the the other corner of the house, we would have to put the fencing in there, if that makes sense.
To the back of the house? So
Just-
it'll start off the back, go back,
It
and then
only is
connect?
the back of the house.
Got it.
Yes,
Okay.
So will it be the whole width of the back of your lot, be a big rectangle?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
And is there going to be a gate?
yes.
Okay. You didn't send a picture of the gate, but it will be.
Oh, I'm
of the-
sorry.
It's okay, will it be of the same
Yes,
thing, it won't be like a solid gate or anything?
no, it'll just be a gate that opens and closes, and,
Okay.
yes,
All right.
So it's basically just the backyard?
Yes.
The backyard?
yes.
Okay.
And the chain link fence that's there now is gonna stay.
Yeah, we're.
That's the neighbor's?
Yeah, that's not even ours.
That's not
Yeah,
theirs.
and actually the people that lived there before us installed like a corner privacy fence. If you've ever noticed, it's white. We're not quite sure like what to do, if we
Just
should
that one segment there.
leave it
Yeah,
up or
that's-
if we should continue the fence off. We have no idea, so.
Yeah,
Yep,
Yeah. Yeah, the chain link fence that's already there, that was like pre-existing prior to
yes.
the establishment of the historic district, so that's
oh, okay.
that's been here forever.
Yeah, so
Because
that's the
they're
silver
sturdy.
one. It's very sturdy, yes.
You looking to keep dogs in or put a pool in or something like that?
So I have a dog, but we just wanna like have a little privacy, I guess, just kind of where like our yard is, I guess. It's nice to be able to go out and sit and have a clear understanding of where everything is, I feel. Yeah,
But, right, because currently, because we're neighbors,
yeah,
you don't know who's, you're just walking.
Right.
There's 3 different property lines, walking's just this way.
Oh,
So
okay.
you don't know whose yard you're in
Okay.
when you're walking back there. So, I mean, I get it.
And
So,
you've had a survey, so you know exactly right now where to put the fence, which is.
we would call the dig line,
Yeah.
which I did previously, but then I didn't realize because we were in the historic district, we had to fill out an application first. So I wanted to make sure we were approved for it first before we had them come out.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Well, I don't have any more questions. Does anyone have any more questions?
No, I think because it's in the backyard completely, that it's more of a backyard thing, it's not as visible from the front. Otherwise, I would have said, continue the board fence along just to make it look more historic,
Sure.
but because it's in the way back,
I think the fact that it's black is, it's really not going to be
And it's only 4 feet too,
Yeah.
so it's not like you can see everything else. Like if we
I
went
think
with
it
the
will almost
larger.
disappear from view.
Right.
Yes, yep, yep, I agree. Oh, you can't even vote now. Get out of here.
On this one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, because
You're
I'm
in
in
a
a
butter.
butter. Oh, right.
Oh, that's right.
Butter. I can't vote on.
You can't vote.
Oh, right.
That's right.
Not voting.
I will, move that we approve this application as written. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Madeline. If there's no more questions or discussions, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? And Lori is abstaining. With the application, you'll get a certificate of approval. Shall we mail it to 159 Main Street? You're getting mail there?
That would be perfect,
Okay.
thank you.
So you will get your certificate of approval for the fence. If you change your mind and choose to install some other style of fence, you need to come back.
Sure.
Because this certificate of approval is for this design.
Okay.
Okay, so, and the, code enforcement, building inspector will also get a copy of this for his
Okay.
records, okay?
Sounds great. Thank
So
you
you're
so
all set,
much.
we'll get that in the mail.
Thank you, I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Nice to meet
meeting
you.
Welcome.
everybody. Bye.
The letter that I gave you is the letter that was sent to all of the, homeowners in both historic districts in Kingston. It's very informational, so
Okay.
you'll want to give it a look, and now that you're part of the historic district.
You're part of us now.
Yay, I'm excited.
Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Nice to meet you. Bye, girls.
All right, we're up next,
Sorry,
right?
I have so much trouble with English sometimes.
English.
Words.
Yes.
Yes,
It's got a call.
all right,
I lost somebody. Yeah. Oh, no, oh.
that's okay.
1, 2,
Oh,
3.
you have to also.
I do.
Yeah.
We're all set. You're voting, you can vote. Yeah. All right, so we're still all set. Next up is the application for gutters at 157 Main Street. With Dan and Laura's way.
You guys have been in a lot.
We almost live here.
I know.
So you are looking to put it in gutters on house number 2 and house number 3. Correct?
Kind of.
3 and 4.
So it's
3 and 4.
on the
2,
north
3, 4.
side,
Yep.
it's 2 and 3. On the
Okay.
south side, it's 3 and 4.
Okay, all right. Yes,
He
your
knows.
application was very, very good.
You gotta name these things. That's right.
Do you not have gutters back there at all?
Never has been.
Wow, okay.
It's a problem.
This is
1 and
pretty
2, the
good.
original designs with no gutters, of course, work perfect because that's how they were designed. The other ones really should have had them, and there's issues.
Yep, yeah.
No, the 5 with the 4 downs.
All right, so they're going to be white, true,
Right, they'll follow the color, the trim, and
Okay.
if it's, yeah.
Seamless white, aluminum, anchored per manufacturer's details. Downspouts shall be standard profile.
yep.
Yep. I don't really have any questions.
I know, I love these kind of applications where there's just,
Yeah.
everything you wanted to ask is already answered.
Yeah. Is there something we're forgetting? Is it too easy?
No, I think it's good.
I think it's good too. Yep.
Yay.
I make a motion, we approve the gutters for the Speds property as presented.
Second by Rob. Any discussion? No? All in favor?
Pretty straightforward.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Thank you. Go back to work.
Thank you. We will get the certificate of approval filled out and sent to you and to Pedro. And you're gonna start when, tomorrow? It's pretty, it's
Yeah, it is,
interesting,
he's
right?
on the schedule, I think. in
Now
the next
that,
couple
now that the
weeks.
rain is
Nice.
done,
Yeah.
you can start, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Good night.
Good night, thank you. All right, next up is Peter Bakey. He has big things to talk about.
Not big, simple,
As simple as the other ones?
simple, even simple.
Excellent.
It's even more simple.
Excellent.
Even more simpler.
Simpler.
Simpler. Okay. Oh, awesome. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited
Oh
to
my
have that done.
God. I was thinking, okay.
Good evening, Board. Peter Bakey, I'm a member of the Board of Selectmen here in town, and I was appointed, I guess, to represent the Kingston Days Committee. As we're looking right now and what's going on in our future of some PFAS issues in town, I do not think we will conduct Kingston Days this year in town. If so, it will be later on in the year. But looking into the plains, specifically the section that's just directly in front of the fire department, between Bartlett's Insurance and Rick's, we have quite a electrical system over there constructed. Most of that system was constructed out of used electrical products from the Kingston Fairgrounds on a 125. That was generously donated by our previous electrical inspector, Joe Thompson. After reviewing the system we have over in the plains, it's been determined that it is 100% unsafe.
Yeah.
It's going to be disconnected and it's going to be torn out. The panels that you see over there currently on the plains are basically a piece of plywood that's screwed to posts with an electrical panel connected to them. So what we're looking to do is, with the help of Steve Daly of our highway department, we're going to construct some new backboards, which are basically just a flat piece of plywood. We're going to try to, we're looking for some materials right now to either make them brown or green to maybe look more aesthetically better on the plains than white. So we don't look like we have a bunch of boxes all around the plains. We will be planning on adding 2 additional poles to what's existing out there. We'll have a 400 amp panel, 2 200 amp panels, and there'll be 7 100 amp panels. Basically replacing what is out there, but brand new. The photos you have in front of you, you're gonna see that basically the backing board, and we've developed a small rooftop, just a small angular rooftop you'll see on the front page. And we're actually gonna do that out of, we thought it'd be cedar shake for the roof versus asphalt or metal.
Yeah, nice.
Maybe a little aesthetically pleasing to the common. And we're looking to go forward with this. I just thought it'd be a good idea. You know, you guys obviously have a lot to do with the center of town as the historical board, and I wanted to run this plan by you. The second page will show you that there'll be some drops out of the bottom of the panels as they are now. Mm-hmm. The posts that you see in the middle, there's numerous locations, 3 of them, I'm sorry, that are overhead currently. We're gonna move all that to underground. So you're not gonna have the wires going across the plains. Multiple reasons, not only for the view, but we don't need carnival rides or large box trucks or whatever with the lines in the air. So we're gonna put those on the ground. Nice. So the post you see in the center on the second page will be underground conduit going into the bottom of the box. And everything will be brought brand new and up to code. We currently have an RFQ out there now with diagrams of exactly what we want to replace and upgrade existing, which is will be disconnected probably within the next 2 days due to hazard situations out there on the plains. There was a concern last night at our board meeting that we have a sunrise service from the Congregational Church that takes place at the pavilion, and the historic, the committee with the cemetery 300th is coming up.
Yes.
I talked to Ernie Landry.
Yeah.
They'll be holding their activities at the bandstand. The great news is, as found out this morning, that service is actually new. It was done when they did the bandstand. That will not be taken down. They will have all the power they need for both services.
Okay.
Both those services will not be interrupted.
Okay.
It's just the main set of the common in front of the fire department. And this has been designed and constructed so in the future we can add on to this plan. So this is replacing basically what's there with the addition of 2 extra small poles. One's over in front of Bartlett's Insurance, and the other one is mid-down from, there's 2 stakes in the ground actually, Dig Safe came in and marked them.
Oh, okay.
There was a pole that had been replaced in front of Rick's that was rotted. It was in bad shape. The pole's been reset, but we're not allowed to go forward with any activities until there's some testing wells put in with the PFAS situation. So I'm just looking to kind of run this by the board to see what we're looking to do, just to get the approval with our idea, to hopefully make this look nice for the commons, and to be used by many people in the future.
Perfect. I think it looks great. It's a good plan. I like the idea of the cedar shake roof. I think that either brown or green would look nice. I don't think you, obviously you don't need a certificate of approval because the town, you know, doesn't even have to actually come to the Historic District Commission. We appreciate that you do though.
We wanted to get your input, just kind of give you a heads up what we're looking to do in case you had a different thought or idea.
Yeah.
Do we have to have all the poles, or can you do all of them like this, as you're doing?
Actually, that's connected to a pole.
Oh, it's gonna be on a pole?
Correct, so the poles are existing.
I know.
So.
I was hoping you were taking
so
those right out
I
and just
didn't-
like making a little kiosk thing.
Well, I didn't continue my presentation, it's not gonna happen right now because it's all budgetary things, but the poles that are out there that are existing.
Yeah.
Speaking with Fire Chief Grant Pellerin.
Yep.
What we're probably gonna do in the future, if you go down through the common as we speak, there are lights on those poles. There's gonna be a downward light reassembled at the top of that pole, that in the event of an emergency.
Yep.
Or at the end of the night, they can be turned on so people can exit the plane safely.
Okay.
Because there is a major lighting issue at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
When the fire goes out and things are happening, people
Yeah.
are trying to leave.
Right.
They can't see anything.
Yeah.
So we can just flip them on, people can exit, and they shut back off again.
Okay.
But they're actually existing out there and they're quite antiquated. They're very large.
Yeah.
Do something smaller, a little bit of downlight
Yeah.
on the existing poles.
Okay.
That's our thought, but again, comes the money.
I know.
And that may be another step down the road.
Yeah.
But right now, we're looking to replace the existing
Okay.
with this
makes sense.
idea intact, which will give it a little protection on the storm weather. Obviously, these are all exterior panels,
Right.
but that little doghouse roof
Yeah.
will give them a little protection from the top,
Yep.
but try to make it look nice.
Okay.
This is just gonna be T111.
Well, actually, our idea is the backer board, we're gonna put braces across the pole, probably like a unistrut. We're gonna put on 3/4 pressure treated plywood, and then we're actually looking at AZAC plastic decking.
Nice.
That'll be brown, that will go on top of that, be multi-layered, so it's gonna look brown, but it's biggest thing, it's gonna be longevity and lasting for a long time.
Yeah.
That's our thought.
Nice.
Yep.
So,
And then so here's your plywood and here's your AZAC, the side, is that gonna be?
it's just, you're basically gonna see the edge of the plywood,
Okay.
and you're gonna see that decking. The decking's actually 5/8, it's pretty thick, you
Okay.
know, it's like decking you put on your house, but
Yeah.
it looks like wood, but it's
Yes,
fine.
yeah, I know.
But it's,
know
I just
what
want
it is,
that
but
brown
My
color.
question is, are they gonna just paint the side of the plywood?
It'll be pressure treated. Usually,
Yeah,
my
I know.
experience in the construction, you try to paint that stuff, it doesn't
that's
really
true.
last on there. It's just, it's a weatherproof material that's gonna last for a long time, versus what's out there. So, it will look much better, than what's out there. Just an idea.
Well, they'll last a long time, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yes, I know. Yeah.
And the highway department, you think, is the one that's going to be building them?
The highway department's gonna be manufacturing these backers.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah.
So what our tentative plans are right now, immediately, probably, hopefully within the next couple of days, Unit 2 will be disconnecting the 400 amp panel across from the fire department, the 200 amp panel across from Rick's. That will free up all the electrical service to the planes. Then we can actually pull the service out. But the construction is basically gonna be a lot of underground work. And as you know, we're dealing with issues on the planes with testing. We're not gonna do any construction right now. We might get these panels on the poles. And then when we get the green light, we'll be able to put the underground lines in, be all conduit pipe, and we have to go across from a 400 over to the other side of the churches. There's a 200 amp panel over there.
Okay.
That will be upgraded to 2.5 inch pipe by means of like a ditch witch. It won't be an excavator. We're not gonna put huge trenches in the ground.
Yeah.
The machine that will bring it down about 23, 24 inches, bury the pipe, and then be able to fill it right back in again. So it's not gonna be a lot of big construction on the planes.
Nice.
It'll be minimal, put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it looks great.
Yeah.
I like the plan. I think it's gonna look a lot better.
It will be electric.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And safe.
and definitely safer.
It's pretty scary when you open up the panels, if you know anything about electrical at all, where the breakers are.
Yeah,
Well, where there's no breakers, there's holes, a lot of holes.
Oh.
Because those are used panels. So you're looking at a 400 amp service that you can look right into the bars. Very dangerous, very, oh boy.
Yeah.
We're gonna address this
The sooner the
immediately.
better on getting rid of those things.
I
Yeah,
know,
so-
seriously, yeah,
Everything's double logged in there.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
yeah.
So,
Well, I appreciate you
be a big
coming in.
change.
I don't
Yes.
think we have any, do we have any additions or?
No,
I think it's a great plan. Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, just wanna let you know.
Awesome.
Thanks. Good luck.
Great, thank you. All right, well, we were going to, a couple of things that I had. The first one was discussion of repair of historic district signs, which is something that I was gonna do a couple of years ago, and I didn't do it, and the signs are still in the back of my car. But they're not in great shape, so I wasn't really very motivated to, replace really bad signs with not so great signs. So that's why they sit in my car. That's my excuse. And I had talked with Phil when he was at the head of the highway department, and asked him if it would be okay if I just popped those things off. And he said that would be fine. Now, Virginia told me that Susan DeHart would like to be in charge of that project now, of the signs, which is awesome.
yeah.
And I think she's been talking with Ernie Landry about sourcing some better signs. Since Virginia and Susan are both absent, we are going to kick that can down the road till next month.
Did were the high school kids involved in making those the first
You know,
time?
it was so long ago that I was
I
not
think-
even on board.
Yeah, just the welcome to Kingston, those
I
ones,
don't know who we.
which
the
they
ones that
still have some in the highway shed.
do that.
Uh-huh, right.
Virginia had 2 or 3 left over in her barn. Those are the ones that are in my car, and the paint on them, the white paint is fine, the lettering is very, very faded.
Yeah.
And kind of beaded up and weird.
Yes.
So that's why that never moved forward, but it sounds like Susan wants to.
So where are they located? Where would they
At
be
the-
located?
Well, they're already there. They're existing, but some of them look really quite terrible.
Yeah,
They're-
the one on
gross.
Church Street looks,
Yeah, really bad.
Yeah.
There's one down the end of the plains, that way near the state park, that's pretty bad
I
looking.
don't think I've ever noticed it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad looking.
They've
There's
been out there
one
for a while.
right in front of Connor's house that he just bought at the end.
Yep.
There's 2 in HD2. Right, there's one
Yeah,
over there.
that one.
Yeah, so they're around.
They're
I
all
don't know
looking
that there's
sad.
Yeah,
Yep, they do.
Probably half a dozen
Yeah.
okay.
of them. I don't know
So
what
is the
roads are
plan
covered.
to redo them in the same kind
I
of
think they'll just
style?
make them look better.
Okay.
Or just kind of
Clean them up or
upgrade them.
Okay,
Yeah, so,
that's great that she's
Yeah.
taking that on.
yeah, because some of them really look good. The ones down, in Little River, they're in fine shape. One of them, I think, had been knocked over a few years ago by a plow, so that got replaced. And then sometimes, like, the bushes are growing up in front of them and stuff, so, but I think it's good that she's gonna take that on. So we'll talk about that in May. The other thing was that we really should, reorganize this commission, vote on chair, vice chair, all that stuff. So, but we don't have to worry about that until next month either.
Yeah.
Or we could just, elect Virginia to be the chair.
I'd see that.
That's what happens if you're not here.
Exactly.
Tell her that we did that.
Oof. You tell her, I'm not. All right, so that kind of tidies up our meeting. Madeline had something.
I have one more thing.
While she's handing that out, so we had talked, for the part of the meeting that I was at the last time, we had talked about the website and making sure that if there's changes that you need for the page, we need to start thinking about that, if you want to see updates.
I've been on it recently.
Yeah.
and I haven't seen anything.
Okay, so you're fine with
sticks
the-
out with me. I can look with maybe more of an eagle eye on it. But for my purposes, it was perfectly fine, so.
I had somebody, I don't know how it was, it was probably a conversation. about the website, and somebody was asking on Facebook, well, I wish the Historic District Commission had something on their website that was just about like a map of where the area is and like what is in the historic district, and I'll have to go back and find that conversation, because all of the stuff they were looking for is on the page. It's just odd how to get to it. Because you're used to it, but a new user is looking at it differently. Yeah, looking at it differently. So I'll have to go back and look at that, because I thought, well, those are really good ideas, but the information's already there.
Yeah.
Just maybe reordered or something,
Right.
so.
Once in a while, I'll get a message from somebody saying, is my house in the historic district? And I'm like, I'm gonna look it up, because I'm not, you know Main Street, Little River Road, you know those ones, but some of these side streets, I'm like, I don't know about that. So I have to go and look it up usually. And then I had somebody that said, how can I get my house into the historic district?
Yeah, it's not how it works.
Go to a town vote.
Yeah, it would have to be.
So what, Madeline, all right, so I'll look at that, Lori, okay?
So this is because the planning board put through articles to change the building height in town, and it affects the historic districts. We need to update our regulations, because it's already updated in our ordinance 102. So on this page is the two places I found in our regulations that it is, it states 35 feet high for the buildings, and so I'm just proposing taking those the exact wording that we already have and just changing it to 40 where it says 35 to make it simpler.
And why is buildings red?
Oh, I just moved that over. They split the wording strangely, where they said the height of adjacent within a 250 radius of center of the parcel, buildings, instead of adjacent buildings within.
Yeah.
So it just didn't read right.
Looks great.
There's also the 10% in there, and these were all in our regulations prior to, I think from the beginning, that there was like a 10% difference. I mean, there's probably a million reasons why they had that 10% differential in there. Not exactly sure what the reasoning of that was, but it's our regulation, so it's it's our call. But if there's a reason where we say, you know what, 40 feet just doesn't work in this scenario, this is something for us to say, this is why. We need something, because of the citizens petition that came in that said you have to have a factual reason, so that keeps the teeth in there for a reason if we ever had to deny something.
I would think that if you know, in part of your streetscape, you had low houses, one story, and somebody wanted to build a big...
A 40, like all of a sudden
Right,
40 would be out of place, or my house, I think, is only like 20 feet off the road. So a 40-foot right up there might be too much, maybe, who knows? I think you'd have to see it.
Yeah, I don't see the need to take that 10% thing out.
Yeah.
Well, the way it's written though is that if you have a one-story and an empty lot, and a one-story, you build a new home on an empty lot.
Oh,
You gotta put your microphone on.
The
Say
way
that
I'm kind of
again.
reading that is if you have a one-story home and then an empty lot and then a one-story home and someone wants to build on that empty lot, a two-story home next to it is more than 10%.
I totally agree, but it's a regulation, so we have all of these other things that say within harmony and the scale, and so there's things that you would look at to say if that fits in or doesn't, and that would be our call to waive that or not.
Correct.
So in your opinion, it's not a hard number then?
Well, it's been there forever, since the inception of the historic district.
I know,
I
it just
think,
seems like
isn't the house next to the church on the plains a little cape, right? I mean, that doesn't get any bigger difference than that.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yes,
But that was before we had the
Yeah,
historic.
That's true too, that's true too, yeah. And it's
I mean,
also a civic
That's the way I'm
building.
kind of reading. If you have a one-story and then someone wants to build a home next to it, they can't go more than 2 stories. Because it's more than
But they
10%.
can, because, I mean, if they show they show that it's going to blend into the streetscape and not be glaringly, you know.
Yeah, I guess as long as that
Yeah.
10% isn't a hard, fast number that
No,
they're
it's,
abiding by. So,
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think it just gives us some leeway. I don't think we probably will ever need it, but it's been there, and I'd hate to take it out and go, oh, shoot. We shouldn't have done that, so,
And it's never been a problem, so why not just leave it there?
yeah.
You know, it's never been, not that I can't say never, but in my experience with this board, it's never come up.
Yeah. And it still gives them the leeway to go up to 40, which is throughout the town, so.
I like it.
Yeah.
Shall we vote on this tonight as?
I think we
changed, or
have to have a hearing because it's our regulation.
Okay,
So
so
I
we
think
have
we have to
to-
vote on it next month.
All right, so I will add that to the May agenda.
So do you have to do any special noticing for that?
Public hearing?
It has to be a public hearing, I think, because
It
it's
has to be
regulations.
noticed then.
Okay.
Is the 40-foot set by the fire department, is that correct?
I'm sorry?
Is the 40-foot set by the fire department?
It was their recommendation.
That was theirs,
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
yeah.
Typically,
I thought there was.
you can only build as big as your truck.
Up to, you can't. I thought it was, you can't live above 30, usable space. You can go up to 40, but I don't think you can,
Usable, right, livable
Right.
space, 40 livable space.
right?
It wouldn't count, a cupola wouldn't count, right? You could put
No,
that on
I don't
top.
think you can, I think you can go with a cupola up to 40, but I don't think you can live above 30.
No, oh,
It's
live above
from
30?
ground
Oh,
to peak, it's 40 feet, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say, because the fire apparatus have to be able to get to it.
right.
do we want to put that language in there?
It's already in 102, whatever
Yeah, it's in
they,
the town.
it's, oh, I
Okay.
haven't gotten, she hasn't given us the new
Yeah,
one yet.
no, if it's, yeah, you're right, it's in the,
It's in the 102.
Right.
And this is just kind of how we
Match
with
it.
it here, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what that whole thing was. You should know, you were on the planning board. You came up with this thing.
Can't live above 30 feet.
Okay, 30 feet, like, what's I think our attic goes to 30 feet. I think that's as high as our house is. If it's like 10-foot floor story, no more than 30. So 40 could be up there.
Yeah, that's a lot.
32, yeah. Yeah,
All right, so I will, notice the public hearing for May.
perfect.
Okay? Thanks for doing that, Myla.
Sure.
I think that's all I have. Does anyone, public comment. Come up and speak. You know the drill. This is, introduce yourself.
Steve Willett,
Don't say that. Scott will let.
Scott Willett, 189 Main Street. So, you were asking about the website.
Yeah.
If you go to the Historic Commission,
Yep,
everything looks good, but there's a couple of links there that say, like, click here for the historic regulation.
yeah,
It takes you to a super old one,
yeah,
not the new one.
so it's,
she know, I keep telling
I know.
Yeah,
What is the,
I can come show you.
okay,
But that's just the regulations though, right?
It's both, it's the regulations and the ordinance.
And the ordinance, yeah. So it's totally out of date if
They're
you
on the
go and
website.
click in our
You say, take me
thing.
to the Historic Commission, it's
Yep.
town government.
yep,
Boom, 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 Historic District Commission. This page looks fine.
yeah,
But if you go under here, you get all these links.
yep,
See that Historic District 1?
Yeah.
Historic District Regulations? If you
yeah,
click
those are
that,
the ones, okay,
it goes to 2009.
okay.
So
Yeah,
that's super
really,
old.
Yeah.
super
Well,
old.
because they were just ported, they
Yeah,
were
they
ported
were
over
copied.
from the last one, and, you know, it's Caitlin and myself and Susan are going through it,
Yeah,
and
no,
if
it's
we're
all-
not clicking, we're
Yeah.
not finding
No, it's
it.
everything's beautiful, just,
Yeah.
so these two, Historic District 1,
Yeah.
Historic District Regulations, and that should probably be 1 and 2.
Right,
Those two go to another place. But if you go
Okay.
through the regular, come on,
yes, and you go through the ordinances.
then it's fine.
Right, so what will happen is it will link to that, because the old website, they used to upload
Yeah.
on each individual page, and that's just right for things getting out of date. So everything will link to
Oh,
the,
so when they click on it, it will only go to the entire ordinance? And
no,
not
it will go to that one particular
Oh, it will
one,
go to the right place?
but you're,
Okay.
but it's not being uploaded on your page, they're only uploaded in
you don't have a
one
separate
place.
copy.
Yeah, there's not a separate copy, and that's how.
Okay, and that's
things
what they
get
were
updated.
doing? That's what they were doing?
That's how things just get really old.
Okay.
And outdated.
Well, I thought they had said they couldn't make it, there was no separation in the ordinances, so they couldn't make it just pick that section. So it will only send you to the entire ordinance
It's
when you
redone.
click it. It really, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, all right,
Yeah.
awesome. Good job.
I just wanted to take a minute and talk about what Peter was talking about in the digging and the PFAS thing, right?
Okay.
So, we all know that, we have a PFAS problem in some areas in town. And we've contracted with Sanborn Head is our company that does the testing. And the next step in that is to install ground well monitoring wells. Because they need to determine the source of some of the contamination, because doesn't all of it make sense from the firehouse. So that's the next step, and they're installing some of them on the planes, and because we're dealing with PFAS, they don't want us to disturb the soil until they get in there and install the wells.
Oh, okay.
Because if we disturb the soil, then we're liable for all kinds of stuff. So that was why we were moving ahead with the RFQ, and then DES, or somebody from Sanborn Head, was like, you might want to just take a step back. So we put the RFQ out with a TBD for a date, because the monitoring wells aren't scheduled till the end of the summer. So then once they dig and they do their testing, then we'll have to go from there. But
How are they doing the electric? If you're not allowed to disturb the soils there?
we're waiting until Sanborn Head disturbs the soil.
Okay.
And then, and then depending on their results, then we'll move forward with it.
Okay.
And figure out what we have to do. But we don't want to be the ones that have, oh geez, you're right, this is dirty soil. Let them do it as part of their installing the monitoring wells.
And if there is a Kingston Days, the reason why it may be delayed is because of electrical issues then.
That's a huge if, because it's already April and there's no committee, and that's really tough to pull
Probably not gonna
together, right? But there's nothing planned for the planes this summer for any group.
Not even the fire department?
No,
Oh, wow.
no, we haven't seen anything, there's nothing planned.
Might be coming very quickly.
They're not gonna have electric.
That's
So
fine, that's fine.
Anything that's gonna
Because,
be out there.
yeah, the car show again.
It would be an old-fashioned celebration, I'm sorry?
Yeah, because I think we're gonna try and push the antique car show out there
Okay.
this year, because the high school, they didn't like it at the high school last year.
Yeah, oh, okay.
So that and a couple
For
other-
Heritage Days?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but they bring a PA system, I thought they brought they could bring their own stuff anyway.
Well, I guess, yeah, because usually they have a PA system there and sometimes a food thing, but we'll have to,
Yeah.
I'll bring it up to the people over
The
at the.
food trucks will have
that
to
there
be
won't
on generator.
Yeah,
And apparently if the bandstand's working, maybe you
Yeah.
somehow move the
Yeah,
PA to
yeah.
the bandstand, if that is staying intact.
no, I'll just let them know if we're gonna plan it, that electrical will be an issue there except for the band.
It will, because they're gonna pull it in the next couple of days,
Okay,
as Peter said. But I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of what he was talking about with the PFAS and the dig, because if you're not living it, you're not really thinking about it, so.
do you know how deep they're going with the wells?
I don't have, I think all of that stuff's probably posted now on the website, because Sanborn Head came in last meeting and, for about an hour,
Okay.
and gave an update and a presentation, and that's posted on the website. So it would have the location of all of them and all that. So I think there's 8 monitoring wells that they're putting in.
And they're gonna be permanent, I'm assuming,
Mm-hmm.
yeah?
Yeah, they had pulled some out, and DES came back and said, we were getting really good data, now you need to put them back. So.
And they're just doing the planes? I'm sorry to drag this on.
No, it's not just on the planes, but the ones that's why we're not gonna dig on the planes until they've done theirs.
Yeah.
There's like by the old firehouse, there's,
Down
Couple off of
Rockland,
Depot.
probably north of, yeah.
yeah, yep. They're just trying to really gauge, just get more data and determine the water flow for some of these places too, so.
Put one in that bakey for me, will you?
Yeah. the stairs look good. What,
Oh,
there-
yeah, okay, no,
there's
that's
stairs
great.
out there.
So, yeah, right? Oh my gosh. And at the select board meeting last night, we didn't have the barricades up, so people were using them. And so we put the barricades up because we don't want anybody to fall. But I will tell you, I missed that noise of people walking, and you wouldn't realize it until people started using that door again, right? And then you're like, oh, we missed that. And we're like, no, don't use the door.
Not yet.
Not yet. Probably 2 more weeks,
Okay,
and the handrails will be installed.
okay.
And
What type of design did they eventually come up with? Do you know?
let me find a picture.
Something fitting.
Oh,
for the
absolutely,
building. Okay.
absolutely. It was very fitting, yes. And they had come back, and, oh, you guys are sure? We're like, we're sure, that's what we want. And there was conversations, they wanted to put, I'm just gonna call it a stair tread on them, and we're like, no, we don't want any of that stuff.
Yeah, no.
And then we plan on doing some sort of, ribbon cutting
Yay,
thing.
very nice.
So that'll be fun. So a couple more weeks, and then we'll be open for business until we can plan, then we'll plan. I know, it's great, it's super exciting. They look fantastic.
They really do.
I think they did a great job.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They look really nice,
Yeah.
really, really
Yeah.
nice.
All right, anything else? Last call? All right, the meeting is adjourned at